similarly morbid terms, I'm going to move to the north side as the big news out of the Cubs camp is Justin Steele is out for the year, forced to have elbow surgery.
He gone.
Yeah, your crass text to me out of nowhere on my way home.
Laughing, giggling.
My weary way home, traveling many hours back from Chicago to Michigan. Your taunting text that Steele is out. It's weird. I haven't seen, and maybe they've clarified that subsequently, this maybe today, but I haven't seen that he's actually having Tommy John surgery. He's definitely out for the season. He's going to have surgery of some sort, but it's not necessarily that he's going to be out the typical 12 to 18 months with Tommy John. There's I think the other form of surgery to help repair a flexor tendon muscle in UCL is a internal brace surgery, which of course I have no idea what it means, but the thing to take away from it is it's not inherently, it's not going to be, it doesn't have to be Tommy John. It could be something that takes less time to recover from. Regardless, he's out for the year, which is got to be devastating news for Jed Hoyer, who has put all his eggs into this one season, one basket of the 2025 season. They have to win. They have to go to the playoffs and do damage, I think, for him to keep his job, as this is the final season of his contract. So they've got to do something, I guess, is the question now that they have lost their ace in Justin Steele. And a lot of people pointed to, before the season even started, they're talking about Dylan Cease might be available from the Padres in a trade because his contract runs out after this year or after next season. I don't remember now, but that's should have always been a ludicrous idea, and it's even more ludicrous considering they're the best team in baseball right now. They're not going to be trading away anyone from their starting rotation. They have no interest in that. So that was a pipe dream. The more realistic trade proposal I've seen out there is Sandy Alcantara from the Marlins, who will definitely trade him at some point, but they're not trading him on April 15th.
Nope.
They have no interest in that. There's no reason they would want to do that unless the Cubs absolutely blew him out of the water, which means that the Cubs would be dealing from a position of extreme weakness, and that's not where you want to be. I think even if no matter what offer the Cubs might throw towards the Marlins, they're going to wait till they're closer to the trade deadline, just to see how many different bidders might come in on him by then. I guess the only mitigating factor is you could be worried that he'd get injured. So that might be the only reason that the Marlins would be interested in, that the Cubs might be able to put a reasonable package together to get Alcantara. That would be a solution. That on the field, that would be something that would make sense and would really help the Cubs sustain their tremendous start to the season so far. So that's something I could see, but I don't think it's quite as realistic as they're going to try to leverage their farm system. The arms they have in the system already are going to have to step up and kind of fill that void. Javier Assad is one potential. I think it's going to take several to actually come up and fill that role, but Assad is recovering from Tommy John himself. I think Jordan Wicks is going to be involved. People have talked about Cade Horton, their top pitching prospect, being called up. I mean, that's fun to talk about. Such a solid, interesting top pitching prospect. I just don't see the Cubs rushing him because of an issue that, an unforeseen rotation issue. I think you need to keep that kind of guy on whatever path they had planned for him, whatever innings they had planned for him in the minors, whatever things he needed to hone in Iowa. I don't think they're going to change that plan. I just feel with Jed Hoyer, he is so risk averse. I just don't see that being a reasonable option in his mind. It'd be fun, get the hot prospect called up and see what he can do. But I think that would be later on this summer before he'd be in. So I think it's going to be a rotation of different players coming back from injury and being called up, but not the super hot prospect like Cade Horton, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest challenge you guys are going to have is getting a starter who can go a solid 6 innings, which you've gotten out of a lot of your starters this year. Mm-hmm. Because, I don't probably have to tell you this, the bullpen's ERA is 5.23. It's one
It's
of the
not good.
one of the
It was not
worst.
good last night either in San Diego.
Yeah, it's one of the worst bullpens in baseball. It's on the bottom in the bottom 5.
Third, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like I was running through some numbers, or I was typing
Wow,
in
look
this
at you.
to StatMuse because I knew we were going to be talking about the Cubs and what they're going to do about starting pitching. And the Cubs basically, of their 11 wins, 7 of those wins were when the starter went 6 innings or more.
Yeah.
They've lost most of the other games when a starter's only gone 5 innings or
I have a feeling that plays out across the majors,
no, but
yeah.
I don't think it does, because you have these teams like the Yankees and Dodgers who are set up, and a lot of teams are set up to where the starter can go 5 innings and they turn it over to the bullpen. That's how teams are designed now.
Well,
the
good
idea,
teams. So
yeah. So all I'm saying is it's unrealistic to think you're in first place now. You want to stay there. You gotta.
In a terrible division.
I know
it's even worse than we thought it was going to be.
But you gotta you either put the screws down or just say fuck it if you're not going to go get someone. I get what you're saying. Like, there's no way no one's going to trade someone now unless the package is wild. When in 2 months they'll have 9 teams knocking at their door.
Yeah, I'm not saying they'll never trade. They will trade for somebody, but it's not going to be in April. There's just no one. You're not going to find a partner this early.
Yeah, it just could be too late when they do it.
I'm not as worried about that. Well, too late that the Cubs would fall out of contention.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. I'm not worried about that, just because the whole division is such trash. I think they're going to be able to maintain at least, or not be out of reach at least by the time they can actually make a deal. But if it was any other division, I think for sure, yeah, that would be a serious issue. But I don't see it, and especially how they played so far. And Steele hadn't been that great. He had 2 mediocre starts and 1 good one, so they weren't riding him this far to first place in the division. So I don't know. It's going to be frustrating watching Jed maneuver through this, because it's going to be slow and boring and hopefully not painful. We'll see.
Word Hole Media.